It's time for Michigan Fun on My Michigan TV, a weekly look at the top events in Michigan as presented by the state's leading authority on events, the Michigan Festival and Events Association. A full listing of events is available on MichiganFun.com. Michigan Fun is a production of My Michigan TV powered by Michigan Digital. Now, here's your host, President of the Michigan Festival and Events Association, Mike Sukin.
Welcome to Michigan Fun, the show where we take a look at the state's top festivals, fairs, and events. I'm your host, Mike Sukat. We've got a special show because we're going to be highlighting some of the conversations we had at our annual convention in Port Huron. We're going to talk to Randy Adam from Shiny Rust, and then we're going to talk to Keith Stickley from the Stickley Family Farms. But first, we're going to start out with the gentleman from UTR, under the radar, Tom Daldin and Jim Edelman. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
My Michigan TV is streaming everywhere on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and more smart TV apps. My Michigan TV is on your phone too. Take us with you wherever you go. Just search for My Michigan TV on your favorite app store or visit mymitv.com. All Michigan, streaming everywhere. My Michigan TV.
Looking for the perfect weekend getaway? Love Lansing like a local. And we promise, you'll love Lansing just as much as we do.
Welcome to Michigan Fun, the show where we talk about all the fun things here in the state of Michigan. And today we are in Port Huron at the Blue Water Convention Center for the Michigan Festivals and Events Association meeting. And I have some excellent guests.
Fun guys,
my friends, Tom Daldin and Jim Edelman from UTR.
Thanks for having us. Thank you. Yeah, fun is actually Jim's middle name.
It is.
My middle name is Woo-Ha. Yeah, we try to have a lot of fun on the show. So, and with the Michigan Festival and Events, I mean, you guys, there's so many great things to feature that we've done a ton on our show. Mm-hmm. Everything from the Bologna Festival, the Red Flannel Festival, the Cheeseburger Festival, the Asparagus Festival. We've done a lot of festivals.
That's amazing. You remembered all those.
Well, there's quite a few I didn't mention, but yeah.
So, you guys are on PBS.
Yes.
Across the state, just about every single PBS channel in the state, if not more.
Correct.
You also are broadcast in a number of homes outside of the state of Michigan.
Right. We're even on in Florida.
Matter of fact, rumor has it you guys have won at least one Emmy.
Times 10.
Times 10. There you go.
We won 10. Yeah. So yeah, it's not, and I don't think it's because we're smarter, that talented. I think it's just because of what we feature. I mean, Michigan is such a great place to brag about that it's hard not to have great content, with our state. So
it's funny, and my wife was here a little bit earlier, and she was also met you guys when we were at Boyne a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And the one comment that she made is,
boy, those guys are dumb.
No. We watch you guys all the time. And she says, it's amazing. Usually when you see somebody on TV and then you meet them in person, they're a different person. Right. And you guys are not. You guys are the same people that you're on the show. Whether that's goofy, sincere, whatever it is, it's you.
Well, it's because we're not trained to do any of this, so we're just who we are.
Exactly, and you guys do a great job of promoting the state of Michigan, promoting those neat things. You talked earlier today about the train station in Cadillac.
Oh, after 26 Depot, yeah.
And I've seen that show, and yes, watching this show, I had tears in my eyes because it is so special. I used to work in a nonprofit that dealt with people with disabilities, so I know what that is like. And you guys do a fantastic job. But I think your start is really an interesting start because there was a lot of us, especially here in the state of Michigan, that went through the same challenges you guys did right before you guys decided to pull up your bootstraps, or as some people say, get yourself up, brush yourself off, turn around and start over again. And I think that story is an interesting story. I don't know how many people know that story.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, to tell the whole story would take a lot more time than we have here. But,
right.
but yeah,
we need the Reader's Digest version.
Yeah, but basically when the economy crashed, I was doing car commercials, Jim was working in radio, and we had to reinvent ourselves. Jim lost they laid off half the company. I lost 90% of my income, so we had to reinvent ourselves, came up with this harebrained idea for a TV show, presented it to PBS, they loved it, had to find the funding. Jim knew some people at the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. We went up there just to do a practice pitch, and before we even got home, they said, we want to fund your program. So it was like, we're the luckiest guys in the world.
Well, this stuff doesn't happen every day. You don't run into this, what is a perfect storm of idea that was right for a Lansing agency that we didn't know existed, that we didn't know they were tying into a whole placemaking dialogue of what makes your town a wonderful place to live. It used to be, you worried about the schools, the sewer systems, the water systems, and if it had a good downtown. Now it became this whole thing of why do people move to towns and how do they connect to those towns? And it just turned out that our stories of businesses and the folks making interesting things in their towns just resonated so well with Michigan.
Your story resonates with me, and I've had some other people on the show that we've had the same kind of story, that instead of wallowing in self-pity because I lost this job or I lost this or whatever, we all go through that. It's just a matter of how long do we wallow in that before we pick ourselves up and go do something. And I think that's the marvelous story. To me, that's the marvelous story, because I went through that. You guys have gone through it. There's other people here in this room that have gone through that. And instead of poor pitiful me, you went and you did something and you succeeded at it. And people appreciate what you do. And I'll tell you what, we still watch. I mean, even if I see you guys in person, I still watch you on TV. I love the
show's
shows.
better with beer. But yeah.
Free beer tomorrow? Or no, that was yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we're just so lucky to be doing what we're doing. But you're right. I mean, when you've got mouths to feed and a mortgage to pay, you can't sit and wallow in whatever happened to you. You have to, okay, what am I going to do? I got to get organized. I got to make something happen. We just came up with this idea and ran with it and never looked back and just worked. I mean, we have a lot of fun, but we work very hard at what we do, and the hardest part is keeping the funding coming in. Jim knows that. So it's a labor of love. We work hard, have fun, and we get to talk about Michigan. So,
I mean, it is probably, well, not even with a probably in front of it, this is the best thing we've ever been involved in.
Yeah.
From how we help the businesses, we don't ask for money, we're not a pay-for-play show, and that's, people ask us, how do you pick places you want to go to? We do research and we pick stories that are interesting. It may, make lots of businesses unhappy, but the heating and cooling guy is not an under-the-radar story. They're important to the town, but, why do people go visit the places we feature? It's because they tell a unique story, and it's not us telling that story. We're just holding them up to the mirror and reflecting it back.
yeah, we're just the wacky conduit.
Well, we've watched your show, and because of some of the places you've been, my wife and I said, we gotta go check that out.
Right.
And people look at our Facebook page and they say, talk about falling into, maybe not falling into, but doing something you absolutely love. You follow my Facebook page and it looks like I'm always on vacation.
Right.
Of course, it's a photograph. It was a split second in time.
Yeah.
You don't know what happened before that, you don't know what happened after that, but I've met so many people by traveling. There's 1,300 festivals in the state of Michigan. And with a state that has a population of 10 million people, the attendance at festivals, fairs, and events is over 35 million.
Wow.
That means that we go to festivals a lot.
Yeah.
So it's a good business. It's a good industry. It's a happy industry. Yeah, we've had some challenges. COVID was definitely a challenge, but again, you look around this room, we are back to or beyond where we were in 2019.
Yeah.
So we have recovered from that.
That's
now
amazing.
It's time to move on.
Yeah, and festivals, it's a fun, healthy way to sell who we are, what we do, our heritage, our history, the things we make, the things we grow, the things we love. So yeah, I mean, festivals, it's like the heart and soul of the state with festivals. So that's why we love featuring them on the show.
So do you guys have a website if anybody wants to find out what stations you guys are available on?
We do. That is, it's utrmichigan.com. If you want to know what's coming up on shows on a regular basis, follow us on Facebook. It's UTR Michigan on Facebook.
Or YouTube. If you want to watch our shows, go to YouTube, our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and our YouTube channel is UTR Michigan also. So,
well, gentlemen, I appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Michael.
I have to appreciate you being with the show.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for what
Thank
you
you
guys
very
do.
much. Thank you. And that's a wrap. Thank you to Tom and Jim for being here. And again, thank you for viewing Michigan Fun.
A fresh dash of fall really spices things up, elevating every moment amid the crimson, orange, and gold. Feel that rush of color, stopping only to savor every nuance and every note. Then kick it up a notch as the aromas of autumn fuel your inner fire. Add some spice to the season and let fresh bring the flavor in pure Michigan.
Keep it fresh at Michigan.org.
Welcome back to Michigan Fun, the show where we talk about all the fun things going on in the state of Michigan. I'm your host, Mike Sukat, and today we're at the Blue Water Convention Center in beautiful Port Huron, Michigan, and I am with Randy Adam of Shiny Rust Promotions. Randy, you do car shows, correct?
Yes, correct, and it's throughout the state of Michigan. It isn't just in one location.
So you put on the shows, you manage the shows, you score the shows. What exactly?
Everything you just mentioned.
Okay.
I mean, literally from a blank piece of ground or parking lot. I can do the advertising, I do the graphics, I got all the signage, I got the PA, all that to put on a show. If there's an organization or a festival that is wanting something to be added to their already existing festival or something new, they can say, hey, we've never done a car show, but we need somebody that can. And with a few of the festivals I do, that's exactly what's happened. And I can take it from beginning to end. I have a following that in different areas of Michigan, I have a following, and that of these car folks. And it's just the car culture, the car family, just it's a fun get together, and it's always family orientated.
Well, if I remember correctly, you and I talked, and Shiny Rust Promotions is a relatively new entity, but you've been doing this for a number of years, and you've got a pretty good resume of the shows that you've been involved with.
Correct, and I've always been a car guy. I used to have some classics. I've attended tons of shows, but when I started selling my classics and started looking at buying a house, I live in a house, not in a car. People said you should really start doing something with this. You got a lot of connections, and with being the announcer at Auto City Speedway and doing these car show events and being a drag racer, I used to drag race and that, not much, but just as a hobby per se. it has really snowballed into something where I got to be honest, I never thought I'd be at where I am now, where I have some very credible people showing up at my shows, like Bob Frizz from Shaboom, a flame-throwing car, shows up at my shows. Shaggy LeBlanc, he's in magazines and that for his cars creations. And even the Boogeyman, who is a judge out at Frankenmuth Auto Fest, shows up at my shows. And it's like, wow, that's pretty incredible. I never thought. And now, this past year, I was a vendor, first time doing a vending at the Chrome and Ice car show in Flint at the Dorton Financial Center. And I won the best vendor display. And it's like, what? And just Amber Taylor and all the staff over there, Ralph Messer and that do a great job with Back to the Bricks. But it was honored. I was honored. And that has given me more credibility. And now it's with doing the shows at Faster Horses. I do the Hustle and Muscle out there.
Really?
And it's a huge show. And it's on a Sunday. But getting, again, that credibility. And those folks had Phil Landrum with his Top Fuel funny car. It's a 68 Nostalgia funny car Camaro. He came out there, he did a startup. Also the Nostalgia Outlaw Gassers came out, and it's like, wow, these people are coming to my little show. This is awesome. But and I'm excited. I get a passion about it, and I do it mainly for the fun.
Well, it's the passion that obviously is coming through. I mean, you can see the passion on your face as you're talking about, and it's so rewarding to be able to take something that was a hobby and make it a business.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I got to say, I started this in 2020. I went to Autorama. I had the name Shiny Rest Promotions because I went through a bunch of names, and I even said, if I come up with a cool name, I think I'll do it. So I met Barry McGuire from McGuire's, Polishes and that.
Right.
And I was talking to him. He's a really nice guy, and we were talking. I gave him a business card, and he kept looking at it and looking back. And when we were done talking, he's like, I really like your name. This is awesome. It's like, well, thank you. And I walked away, and it was probably maybe 5-10 minutes later, it dawned on me. It's like, oh my gosh, of course, Shiny Rust. And he does polishes and that. Of course he's going to like it. But that gave me a little bit more incentive, and I was excited, and I was talking to different businesses about sponsorship that would carry on through the year at the car shows, where I tagged them at every show, and things are going really good. I talked to some car clubs, and they were on board. It's like, yeah, we'll support you. Well, 2020, that was the weekend before Friday the 13th.
Yes,
and all of a sudden,
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, then the domino theory happened, and everything went away. So now I started rebuilding, I guess. I almost was going to throw in the towel. It's like, it's going to be too hard to start with everything that's going on, the restrictions and that. But in 2021, it's like I did a couple. But this past year, it just, boom. I don't know, it just took off with starting with the award that I won at Chrome and Ice, but then also with the Uncle Sam Jam. They ended up putting me on Channel 2 live with Ryan Chiquette, and I had Shaboom out there, I had Shaggy out there, I had the Fight Masters and a few others with their cars. And from there, when I went to do the Uncle Sam Jam, they've been doing that for 14 years. They said, we want to add something. This is exactly what it started out saying. They wanted to add something. They said, what about a car show? And it's like, never done one down there in Woodhaven, but give it a try. And I said I could probably do about 30 to 50 cars. And they're like, that'd be good. That'd be nice. So it was a drizzly morning, and the promoters came by, and it's like, what do you think? It's like, probably about 30 cars, and we'll stagger them around in that. Well, it started clearing up. Word got out. And I call the Magnificent Seven, the ones that were on Channel 2. They show up, and I quit counting at 150 cars because we were bleeding into the public parking, and I couldn't believe it. For the first time show, that kind of turnout. But it's like, wow, this is really something. So I already got shows locked in for next year. And being here at the convention, this is absolutely awesome to get the exposure to offer these services. I've already talked to people from Alpina, Dearborn Heights, Sebewing, and others, where this could be really a takeoff year.
So, question for the audience, and it's going to boil down to your website, but do you have a calendar of events that you are at? So if anybody that's a car buff wants to go to these festivals, car shows that you're managing or putting on, they know where those are. And then if those entities that would like to add a car show to their repertoire, whether it's a festival, fair event, or if it's just a community event like a Chamber of Commerce or Moose Lodge or something like that.
Yep.
How do they get a hold of you?
It would be the website. It's www.shinyrustpromotions.com. And the schedule, I just finished up to make sure to have it for this event here, the trade show. But I'm going to put that on the website here very shortly, probably this coming week, and that because I do have at least 4 locked in. Probably going to end up adding another 5 to 6.
Awesome.
There's the thing is just fine tuning some details, making sure dates are available. And in January, that's when a lot of the cities like, okay, now we know what's going on for the rest of the, because once you start getting towards the holidays, people start taking a little bit more time, to sit back a minute and take a breath. But the website is shinyrustpromotions.com. And I have a Facebook page as well. It's Shiny Rust Promotions, and there's a lot of information on there too.
Randy, thanks for being with us
Mike,
today.
It's been a pleasure. I'm so excited about this.
Again, any additional information, you can find it on his website or on MichiganFun.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome to Michigan Fun, the show where we check out the state's top festivals and events.
Join host Mike Sukent as he talks with guests from all across Michigan.
How are you doing, Mike? How's everybody in fair festival land out there?
Get the inside scoop on what's happening at festivals and events across the state.
A lot of concerts and free family fun, you name it, and we have it.
Your secret's safe with us. I thought mermaids were fictitious beings.
We got everything at Pirate Festival.
I mean, this is countdown.
Countdown, only a couple of weeks away.
You guys busy there in Grand Haven?
Yeah, just a little bit.
We're hoping the weather is holding. We've called Mother Nature. I don't know if I can do much, but Mother Nature and I, we have an understanding.
I mean, people are coming to these events and these fairs and these festivals. They just want to have a good time.
It is one of those events that is so much fun.
That will be a lot of fun.
Welcome to Mackinac Island.
We were just named the #1 island destination in the continental U.S. by Travel and Leisure magazine.
We are proud of our little slice of paradise.
And hope we have a chance to visit soon.
So hop on in and treat yourself to fascinating history,
delicious island traditions,
and an unforgettable nightlife.
We look forward to seeing you soon on Mackinac Island.
Welcome to Michigan Fun, the show where we talk about all the great events going on in the state of Michigan. And I'm your host, Mike Sukent, and today I have Mr. Keith Stickley from Stickley Family Farms. Keith, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
So, what's going on in Colon, Michigan with the Stickley Family Farms?
So, Stickley Family Farms is a family-friendly agritainment attraction. It's basically a pumpkin patch, corn maze, and we have a bunch of other agriculture-related attractions. And we're open from the first week in September all the way through just before Halloween. And it's a place where people can drive out and bring their families and have a great time outdoors in our beautiful state of Michigan.
What kind of activities do you have out there?
So we started out as a pumpkin patch and a corn maze.
Okay.
And so you can go get lost and find all the little nooks and crannies in the field, and it's a lot of fun. And over the 4 years that we've been operating, we've been adding more and more activities. We have a giant slide that people from 6 to 96 can ride. We have a wagon ride that goes up part of the cornfield, and it comes back through a forest and through our mythical town of Bonetown.
Bonetown,
yes. It's a village of 37 skeletons doing various things that people see as we go down through there, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. My wife and I came to the Colon area, and we had other careers, and we got into the whole farming thing and agritainment because we had grown up in Michigan with our grandparents taking us out on Sunday drives and seeing, so many of the really neat tourist attractions that were around the state. People like the Blake's Orchards as a kid, and Franklin Cider Mill and Frankenmuth, and we both sort of had entertainment and hospitality backgrounds, and so we wanted to create something in that area which didn't really have a lot of family outdoor entertainment type stuff, and we wanted to kind of make that experience, make that another place where people could go on the weekends and have fun with their family outside.
Help me and the audience out. Where exactly is Cole? I know it's in southern Michigan, but I don't know exactly, main highways, crossroads.
So Colon, Michigan is known as it's known as the magic capital of the world. It's located about 15 miles west of Coldwater.
Okay.
So it's actually really easy to get to. And if you look on a map, it used to be a pretty big popular town. It was almost exactly halfway between Detroit and Chicago. Just off US 12, like I said, about 10, 12 miles, something like that. So
US 12 is a beautiful route. We've taken that route before just to say we did it.
Oh, it's amazing. The big country has Route 66 and all these, and northern Michigan has 32, I think it is, the big. But US 12 is this just absolute hidden gem that people from Metro Detroit or on the west side need to get on and take to the other side of the state, especially in the fall. The colors change, and I don't think there's any more beautiful drive anywhere close. And it goes all the way basically from Dearborn to, you can drive it to Chicago if you want, if you're heading west. So it's great. We're just a little detour off of that, and we're really blessed to be in the location we're in.
So how long have you been operating the Stickley Family Farm?
So we purchased a farm in 21. And in the height of everything crazy.
That was a great opportunity time.
It was a phenomenal time to say, hey, let's try to put together a tourist attraction to get people to come. But it actually did work out well because it's outside. We didn't have a lot of the constraints that a lot of like indoor type things would have. And the opportunity was there. And so we went with it. We started small, we started humble, and we still are. Just basically with pumpkins, a corn maze, and a slide. And from there, we've grown, and we're adding in fun, nostalgic kind of roadside attractions and a kind of Americana, if you will, that we want to sort of bring back. It's the kind of stuff that people's grandparents and great-grandparents used to take them out to, to go do. And as times have changed and people have gotten older that used to run those kind of things, a lot of those things have kind of fallen to the wayside. And we just have so many good memories of doing that stuff as a kid, and we had the opportunity to do this, so that's why we started what we did.
Simple family fun.
That's it. It's outdoors. It's clean. It's a blast. It's family friendly, and it really is. There's something if you're 2 years old or you're 102. We had a 96-year-old woman on our giant slide.
Oh my gosh!
And she's come every single year. This year was, I think, her 96th birthday. And she's like, as long as I can climb up those steps, I'm going to do it when I'm 97. So that's the kind of memories we like to make.
That's great. So for any of the audience wanting to know more information, social, website?
Absolutely. If you just Google Stickley Family Farms, then we'll pop up. The directions are there. We're at 1296 Waddles in Colon, Michigan, Colon. Just like it looks. It's Colon, Michigan. And not only do we have a neat attraction, but Colon is known, it's kind of a long story, but as the magic capital of the world. And every year they have, in August, they have a big magicians convention. And all these magicians, world famous, all over the world, come out. And so there's more than just Stickley Family Farms in Colon. And there's a lot of new developments and things happening in that area. So it's definitely worth a trip if you're, even if you're going to overnight somewhere nearby.
Well, great. Thanks, Keith, for being with us.
Absolutely.
If you want any additional information, you can go to his website, or you can go to MichiganFun.com and find out everything there is about not just his attractions there, but anything in the state of Michigan. Thank you for being with us. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
I've been on the road, out here with the squad. Everybody trying to go, yeah, the party jumping up. Hey, we putting on a show, trying to catch a vibe. We do this every time, like na 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 na. This is where I wanna be, na na na. Never ever gonna leave, na na na. You ain't taking it from me. I'm like na 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 na.
Well, that wraps up today's show. I want to thank all of our guests, the gentleman from UTR, Tom Daldin Jim Edelman. I want to thank Randy Adam from Shiny Rust and Keith Stickley from the Stickley Family Farms. I also want to thank our producer, Jared Clark, and the entire staff at Michigan Digital and for My Michigan TV. You can see all these shows and the entire library of shows at MyTV. That's MyMITV.com. Until next week, get out there and have some fun.